Hey everyone, I wanted to do this video to talk about writing stories and just kind of explain that, how like there's Star Wars and, like who needs a lightsaber in our days? It's just a plastic light bulb sword, right? Do I need one? No, not really, but why do we want one? Because of the story of Luke Skywalker and all this other stuff. And I think it's the same thing with the rings. Like, yeah, we have a purpose for marriage and all this other stuff, but other than that, will I need any more? Not really, unless there's a story that means something else, and there's a character I can identify, and why they hold true to that ring, and whatever they identify, they kind of take on that person too in that story, and then eventually they might want a ring that's of that same person. So I want to kind of gear it towards a story where we kind of there's some Pixar training I've kind of been watching on how to make people cry, and it kind of brings them through this up and down like emotion where you see something sad. There was one where this Mercedes commercial. Um, uh, the kid's ready for his date, but dad looks out like, dude, it's raining, it's storming. It's not safe to go out there. And then the release is like, wife says, hey, just take him. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And then he goes there to the movies, and then he pulls up and there's no one around. He checks all the theaters, like, oh, she didn't show up. Oh. So he's like, oh, he walks all sad. He looks up and he's about to go back to the car. And then the next other Mercedes pulls up. What's his date? And he comes out like, oh, cool. She's here. She made it. And so that sad moment or problem, and then or the release is the happy moment or the solution to it. Um, and just kind of just his expression, his face. That's how you kind of demonstrate the emotion of the how the voice is talking with demonstrating the emotion. So, anyways, I wanted to then continue kind of like what we've already been doing, but we're just gonna add in the script portion some of these ChatGPT prompts. And I've kind of recreated it myself, so I want to show you that, and then I'll also. Yeah, and then we'll kind of go into like the video schedule and how that's not gonna work. Okay. All right. So here is I took it out of. Oops. Here. This was the Wolf Ring revealed. Oh, why is it doing that? Okay, so the symbolism behind the Wolf Ring revealed. So I just kind of continued it from where it left off. And I kind of recreated like, hey, we got the title, and then we kind of walked through the process. The research, who's it for, it goes through all that. So basically we had to kind of go through this process to kind of let ChatGPT know the context of what we're trying to do. And then with the symbolism, who's it for, it talks about it. So this is all familiar stuff. Write the blog, there's a blog, okay. And then what's the hook? And then this is the hook, okay, and then deliver the promise. And then this is the log line. The log line is a summary of the video. So it says, certainly, it says, here's long unraveling ancient tales of deep meanings of the Wolf Ring. The journey delves into myth, cultures, and times allure the symbolic jewelry, okay? And then it says, hey, write a good hook for a Pixar-style logline. So this would be kind of like the trailer. This could be a good clip for a short to kind of advertise the video. So it goes, in a world where every piece of jewelry holds a whispered secret of the past, a curious young girl stumbles upon an age-old wolf ring, setting her off on an enchanting adventure through time, myth, culture, where she doesn't just learn about the ring's tales, but also discovers her own unique connection to its storied history. So every Pixar teaches a lesson, and it's also something that everyone can relate, like an emotion, like someone who's arrogant who then learns to humble himself, or someone who who's always happy, learns that that it's okay to be sad, like the story. What's that? Yeah, the emotional story. I forgot the name of the story. It was happy, sad, and sadness. I forgot the name of that movie. And then and also someone who like Ratatouille, who it's a daily norm, but I want to be a rat. I want to be a chef, but then someone puts him down, kind of thing. I think I'm kind of messing it up. But anyways, so this is the hook. Right? So after that, from this log line, which is a summary, I tell it to then create a logline summary of the story, introduce a character, and watch them their routine. So they have a daily routine, step one, and then safely the routine is shattered by unexpected change. and the character struggles against the change. So if they're always sad, how do I become happy? Or they're always happy, and then a sad thing happens. And then they would experience and reach the lesson, and then teach the lesson what they learned. So that's kind of the format of the Pixar. So he goes ahead and creates a young girl named Emma, engrossed in the mundanity of their daily life. It unexpectedly discovers mysterious warfare. Her world is thrust into chaos, battling against her ring's ancient power and myths. It drags her into her life. She emerged with a profound understanding of her own heritage and the universal lesson that every story, ancient or new, shapes who we are today. Okay, so then say create the scenes of Lund from Pixar uses a great story to make people cry. So it creates the summary about each scene. Now, when we do each scene, we'll then pump out a short, because it's gonna be like, it might take several days or to do this, but we can then kind of cut it out to several shorts as a kind of like a trailer. And then vertical format and everything. We'll do a horizontal format, but then after that, the final product for that day or week would be a vertical product, and then we'll do the next one. So if we do 2 to 3 a day or 5 to 10 a week, this would be the shorts, okay? And then go to the next one, Discovery. We'll go to this, and then we'll do a short. So we can, in a sense, be able to upload videos regularly, still, and not have stagnation. We're waiting for a whole 2 weeks to get this full thing done. We can then say, hey, at the end, subscribe for the next scene, or subscribe to the next part at the end. So then that kind of helps us build subscribers, so they're waiting for the next story, the next scene, okay? And so so this basically describes it, how she feels, this kind of like the log line of each of the scene, and what it's all about, what the struggle is, what the connection is, how to embrace it, the profound lesson, and then the climax, and the reveal, the closure, and all that stuff. And then so I made sure that in each scene we include and we identify the sad moments of the problem, the tension, and the happy moments of solution of the release. Okay. So now we'll talk about how Emma feels a deep sense of loneliness and monotony of her daily life, emphasizing her isolation. She then discovers an old journal grandmother's hinting at exciting stories from the past. So maybe like day to day, like we do the same thing every day. We gotta wake up and go to work, kind of thing. And all of a sudden, there's so she gets thrust into this adventure. Discovery, among her grounds belongs, Emma feels profound disconnect from her family sisters, like she doesn't know her family as much, all that's going on. And then she discovers these wolf rings that spark and shriek sense of connection. And then disruption. So I try to express like either the sounds of that emotion, or even through mid-journey or whatnot. Okay, and I will provide a mid-journey training on how to use consistent characters. So it'll kind of be like a storybook, like a children's storybook. We'll kind of pan and zoom into certain areas that we want to emphasize for now. And then I think Vincent has a computer that's strong enough, and also Midway ML will be able to kind of animate, but it takes a little more technicality to do it. But as far as that production, just the images is probably good enough. And then if Vincent has figured out and we do it quickly, then we'll kind of add that later on. We could probably do like a storybook version, and then we can do a second one later where it's fully 3D animated version. And Vincent can kind of work on that on the back end, trying to figure out all that. Maybe we could release some shorts here and there as we're building it, and so we can have the 2D version, but also the 3D version as you see the lips move and whatnot. Alright, so once we identify each scene as we're releasing shorts, we will then eventually piece this together as a long form, horizontal version of this video. Okay, and then once that's done, we'll then ask ChatGPT to write the script for each scene, and then it actually has the voices here. Emma voiceover, selling melancholic, so whatever that means. Another day, just like the rest. Wake up, school, home, sleep. I wish anything exciting would happen. Camera pans towards the window where she sees Emma gazing outside the window, looking, yearning for in her eyes. And there has to be more than this. So I'm sure everyone feels this. So this is how it releases to the masses of people who are just like, hey, looking for adventure. And then it zooms into family photos, getting dust, spaces them in them, or faded, hinting at forgotten stories. I wonder if they ever felt like this, if they ever wish for more. And then cut to Emma's hand, pick up the leather bound. So these are different scenes. And so it kind of guides you to create all these mid-journey scenes here, and then close up, phase. Well, let's see what secrets lies within, and then we'll publish that as a short for scene 2, and subscribe for the next one, and so on. Hopefully you get the point. And the reason why we do it separately is because I think there's a certain amount of length that ChatGPT can prompt out, and eventually kind of say, hey, I ran out of room, or this is it. I also want to add something. Hey, please write a script for scene 2, and then prompt me if the scene to continue the scene if there's more to it or something like that. So I might modify it, check it a little bit, maybe play with this, say something like this, and then prompt me to continue if there is more to the scene. And then if it does say yes somewhere in there, then you say please continue, and it'll just continue that scene if there's more to it. Because I sometimes it ends abruptly too, and you're reading it, you're like, hey, what happened? Like what happened to this part? So that's something that we might have to read and prompt later on and customize a little bit. But anyways, I just kind of copy paste this, scene 1, scene 2, scene 3, scene 4, and so on until you get to the last scene 8. And that's the end of that. So then it kind of closes it out, teaches the lesson. Then they'll learn that the stories of the past give us strength. They're not just memories, but lessons. And grandmother, and now that you're part of that legacy, cut flashback to grandma wearing the Warframe, experiencing moments of similar imagery, all this other stuff. Okay, so there it goes. That's it. And then I have this here located in the video story template, and just go through the same process, and it's right here under ChatGPT prompt. Can you create the logline for this? And every time I have said prompts in the prompt, and there's several of them to kind of build this all out. Okay, and once it's all built out, then you copy and paste that into here for later. Another way also, you can also save it if you want to add to it later by clicking on this, and then it'll create a link to the what is this? Video analysis. Okay. So, yeah, name it Wolf, whatever, Wolf story, I don't know, something better, whatever the title was, and then you copy the link, and then you can just share it back into that. So if we need to modify it, whatever, put that back in there instead of copy paste the whole thing. Yeah, that could work too. Okay, but I'll probably maybe just make a backup just in case we lose this. I don't know, or get lost to it. Okay, and then yeah. Alright, now as far as the schedule goes, this is kind of like replacing the 5 to 10 a day, because I think eventually, once we beat to death like Tungsten Rings, I don't know if there's anything more to create about rings. It's like, okay, it's strong, it's whatever, gold versus silver. Eventually it kind of gets boring, right? And like, I've seen it before, I know everything I need to know about tungsten. But I think these stories will be a little more unlimited. Especially with the symbolisms and whatnot, but creating the symbolism to a story, and then just enjoying the story as a story. And then if they want to know more, they'll probably click and check our profile. And, oh, there's a Warframe, there's this ring, so we don't have to say, hey, ring in your face, buy. But give value in terms of telling a good story and making a good projection of that story through that. Okay, and then I've also provided training here for Pixar. Now everything I've kind of talked about is already in this ChatGPT recipe in a sense, but it's open to modification and correction. If you tried something new and maybe you needed something extra and then it worked out really well, share that with the team and also with me, and then we'll also change it, add it to the system so that everyone else can be informed about that. So in the department training called storytelling training, how to tell a story to make people cry. Now there's some video references here. You just watch it all just so you understand the basics of it. There's some storytelling rules, the art of storytelling. There's a playlist there. Just kind of watch it and either you don't have to you can watch it while you work or you can watch it on your own time and just kind of take notes or whatever. And then these are the videos on how to create a consistent character in Midjourney with using the seed. And then you could change the scenery, you can make the character pick things up, stand up, or whatever you want to do, or have them do some certain actions, and it'll be able to do that. And then this is more for advanced angles and stuff. So you have back, forward, angle, right, top, side, whatever. Okay, and then you can create videos here with that, but that's probably depend. I'll talk to Vincent and see who has the ability to animate and is more technical at doing that, or has the computer capability to do it. Then we'll do that. And this is just where you can listen. It's just a book. Listen on the side. So this is kind of talks about the hero's two journey. Every hero has two journeys: an outer journey and an inner journey. Let's say I have a problem of like, hey, I want to learn how to do something. I'm like, whoa, but I have to struggle with this problem. I figured out on the outside, and I solved my problem, and that's the outer journey. But then, what do other people need help? But maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not ready. And so that's the inner journey where he's like, okay, fine. I finally mustered the courage to be able to teach someone how to do it too. And so that's the outer struggle, the inner struggle. So that's the kind of like the character, or maybe he learns something, an outer journey, outwardly, and then also learns something inwardly, like arrogance and or being kind and loving or whatever it is. Those are the story. That's what makes a hero's journey story. Okay. All right. And I think that is it. So I will add some more stuff as I learn. So it's kind of like a continual learning process, and I think this will kind of help with the subscribership and also bringing more people to the channel and be able to subscribe to our channel and get more viewership that way. So here's gonna work out. I think the 5 to 10 we're gonna transition to a little more story format, but also 50-50 with that. Like the reaction videos or like trend surfing, like tagging or like reacting to, or our us versus them video. Anyway, we just need to be able to tag other channels that are already ranking so that we can piggyback on to their popularity somehow. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, and I think if we do this a really good storytelling, that in itself could bring subscribers, and it'll build its own viewership on its own if we're good storytellers, right? And I think it will be. But if we're just doing basic rings and stuff, and people just kind of swipe away, I've seen the analytics, about 38% of it, 60-70% swipe away, and then maybe about a good 30% will watch it all the way through. So I'm noticing that maybe we need to have more change up our content a little bit to kind of improve on that, and if we can increase that over 50% and engaging in with that story, then it'll then promote our videos more and more to other people. Okay, and then we'll be able to get more viewership and cycle back, and along with the content strategy of reaction videos and teaching a specific skill or answering a specific question or reviewing a specific product could also work too. So if there's maybe DaVinci Resolve, if you're doing some videos on it, how do I do this, even though it's not related, but this is how I do use DaVinci Resolve to do this one strategy, to do this one technique for Friends of Irony, and then it links back to us. And we'll have a separate channel on maybe video editing if that's what you guys are doing. CapCut's a keyword that we could probably tag on how to do this for CapCut, and then that'll bring traffic to. And I know there's gonna be a lot of unrelated stuff, but eventually it's building the influence, and they might have some people come in for video editing, some people coming for this, some people coming from that, but it's just building the overall subscribership. And then once they discover our editing, then we might discover our story, or they discover our story, then they discover the video editing, or they might discover us reviewing other products, etc., etc. And overall, I think it'll all add up and blend out, and help us also with building the subscribership, the influence of that channel. Okay, thanks for watching. Any questions, let me know. Bye.